2 years after the eruption of brutal conflict in Khartoum between the Sudanese Army and the Rapid Support Forces, RSF, Sudan is facing an unprecedented humanitarian catastrophe. NGO and the UN paint a grim picture, a nation spiraling into a crisis far exceeding anything previously witnessed. The scale of suffering is staggering, leaving its 51 million citizens grappling with widespread displacement, crippling hunger, and unrelenting violence. The war's impact reverberates across the nation, leaving an indelible mark on its people. The recent attacks on refugee camps in Darfur, allegedly perpetrated by the RSF, stand as a chilling testament to the conflict's escalating brutality. Hundreds, if not thousands, are feared dead in these horrific assaults, adding to the already staggering death toll estimated to reach tens of thousands. The sheer scale of displacement is equally horrifying, with nearly 13 million people uprooted from their homes, a number that includes 4 million who have sought refuge in neighboring countries. The situation in Darfur is particularly dire. Reports from the UN indicate that over 400 people perished in recent RSF attacks as the group attempts to seize al-Fashir, the last remaining state capital, outside its control. The Zamzam camp alone has witnessed the displacement of up to 400,000 people since the weekend, according to data from the UN's International Organization for Migration. These figures paint a harrowing picture of a population fleeing for their lives, facing unimaginable hardship and uncertainty. While the Sudanese military has retaken Khartoum, including the symbolic presidential palace, the conflict continues to rage across much of the country, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. The reclaimed capital offers little solace to the millions suffering in the ravaged regions beyond. The shadow of war looms large, threatening to extinguish any hope for peace. The international community, notably the UK, is attempting to reignite stalled peace talks, convening ministers from 20 countries in London. However, the path to peace is fraught with challenges, hindered by competing global crises such as the wars in Ukraine and Gaza. The diplomatic efforts, while crucial, face an uphill battle against the sheer scale of the disaster and the complex geopolitical landscape. The roots of this devastating conflict can be traced back to late 2018, when popular protests erupted against the iron-fisted rule of Sudanese dictator Omar al-Bashir. The subsequent coup in April 2019, orchestrated by Sudan's army leader, Gen Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, and RSF chief Gen Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo Hemedti, a former warlord, laid the groundwork for the current crisis. This alliance, born of convenience, ultimately crumbled, giving way to the current devastating conflict. The first year of the war alone witnessed the brutal massacre of thousands in Darfur. The RSF and allied militias systematically targeted non-Arab Mazilit and other ethnic groups in well-documented atrocities. Horrific accounts from Mazilit refugees who fled to Chad tell of unspeakable horrors: women and girls subjected to gang rapes, boys shot in the streets, and women forced into sexual slavery to produce Arab babies, as detailed in a UN report from November 2024. These testimonies expose the chilling depth of the violence inflicted upon the civilian population. The United States formally declared that the RSF committed genocide in January of this year, marking the second instance of genocide in Sudan in less than 30 years. This declaration underscores the gravity of the situation and the urgent need for international intervention. Meanwhile, accusations swirl around the United Arab Emirates, UAE, which is alleged to have fueled the conflict by arming the RSF. The discovery of Emirati passports on the battlefield further fuels suspicions of covert Emirati involvement, although the UAE vehemently denies any participation in the war. The humanitarian crisis in Sudan demands an immediate and comprehensive response. The scale of displacement, hunger, and violence necessitates a concerted international effort to provide aid, protect civilians, and hold those responsible for the atrocities accountable. The international community must prioritize Sudan's plight amidst competing global crises, recognizing the urgency and the immeasurable human cost of inaction. The world cannot afford to stand idly by while a nation crumbles under the weight of war and suffering. The ongoing violence and humanitarian crisis in Sudan is a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and the devastating consequences of unchecked conflict. The need for swift and decisive action is paramount to prevent further suffering and pave the way for a lasting resolution. The cries of the Sudanese people demand to be heard, and the international community must answer with decisive action to alleviate their suffering and prevent further atrocities. The future of Sudan hangs precariously in the balance, and the world must act now to prevent a complete collapse. The cost of inaction is too high to bear.